Okay.
All right. But how are you doing? How are things going?
Good. I can't complain. I can't complain. Things could be a whole lot worse, but things are not as bad as I thought it would be.
That's awesome. Well, good. Um, yeah, so this is going to be recorded on YouTube, so I'll send you the link and everything, and I can send you the raw footage
Okay.
if you want. But
Awesome.
I just thought with everything that's going on, you're so successful already before everything that was happening doing virtual wholesaling. So like, I know some people wanted to just kind of pick your brain on that. I know people are going to be coming on, but do you see any big changes so far within the last like 2 to 3 weeks?
The only changes I see is like some of the stuff that we use for automation. You can't really use, such as like BPO Photo Flow. That's a company we use to get all our pictures taken, and they taking precautions of not letting people go into houses to take pictures. But other than that, everything else okay. A lot of the title companies pushing deals back because a lot of the places that we work in, the deed office is not open, so they're not able to generate the proper HUD statement. So and then a lot of the cash buyers that we just found out that's claiming it was cash buyers that had some type of financial backing. A lot of their funding pulled out on them. So now I'm telling my team, don't worry. I have a runway of money saved to the side for your salaries. Just continue to do the business, continue to lock up deals, and we'll push things into further notice. Like just continue to build our pipeline up. Eventually, when this storm overpasses, we'll have so much inventory to liquidate that we'll be okay.
I love that. Good. Well, hello, Facebook user. I'm sorry I can't see your name. But Antoine, why don't you tell the grid people a little bit about yourself and your background? And this is just a Q&A for you to pick Antoine's mind. He is amazing with virtual wholesaling. He's going into a new market already. You can tell him about how many markets you're in already, but just a little bit about you.
Sure. So my name is Antoine Campbell. I'm born and raised from Washington, D.C., currently live in Maryland. I've been in real estate investing for about 3 years now. I switched over to the virtual wholesaler model about 2 years ago. I decided to take real estate and create a lifestyle out of it. So I came up with this concept called the REI lifestyle. And what I did was I started using technology to run my business. I had a business prior to this where I used to sell tags. I was like a mobile DMV, and you could come and get your tags. And I realized quickly that the next business I didn't want to create so much overhead for myself. And thank God for times like this. Um, you know, uh, I have over 13 people on staff, and I'm able to pay them consistently because I identified working with VAs was the best solution in real estate investing. And it took a while to perfect that, but we got it down pat. It took about 8 months far as coming up with processes and systems and creating roles out of people. And it was just amazing. So when I decided to move outside the DC area, if I was doing real estate investing, I looked into virtual wholesaling, and it just made sense. I then pulled my children out of school 2 years ago. They was in private school, and we just started homeschooling them. So we've been doing this whole quarantine thing way before it became popular. So
You're like, let me tell you, I'm a veteran at this by this point. Okay, so you already have some questions. Well, actually, before we get to the questions, could you tell them how many markets you're in? Can you hear me?
yeah, I'm sorry, my phone had went in and out. I don't know why.
No, you're
But I
good.
can state your question again.
How many, before we start asking or answering questions, how many markets are you in currently?
Currently, I'm claiming 5 markets. I'm in 8, but currently I'm in 5 markets that we actually actively in. Because what happens is you start opening up markets, testing things, and then it even work or don't work, and you pull back from it. But we don't make decisions until we have the amount of data to make that decision to pull back on the market or to open up a market. Like now we are in Toledo, Ohio. And we just started that, and we're getting a lot of leads based off of what's currently happening with the whole coronavirus thing.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's just dive in. We already got questions going. So, Mr. McEnroe says, what do you suggest a newbie wholesaler should do to get started right now?
Yeah, I say you jump head first in, figure it out while you're going, right? so many people trying to figure out all these steps. And all actuality in business, there's no right steps to do things. Just start, come up with a niche, figure out where do you want to do specifically. Are you want to be a wholesaler? If you want to be a wholesaler, come up with an area in particular and become an expert in that area. So as you lock up deals, your close rate can be higher, and as your close rate be higher, hopefully you'll be more profitable. Not too many people talking about profitability in the company. I'm not sure why, but that's very important as a newbie wholesaler, especially if you're working on a limited budget. You should be dedicating money to DealMachine because you're able to drive around and self-generate quality leads.
I love that. I mean, do you want to touch on that any more than you did? You said that not a lot of people talk about that profitability.
Yeah, I think right now a lot of people got caught their pants down. With this whole corona thing, and people realize their business is not as strong, right? We was in the process of becoming more liquid, which means we just dumping all of our assets as far as like our fix and flips, and we was trying to start building our buy and hold portfolio. But the one thing I tell people is you need to figure out what is your break-even number, right? Add all your payroll, add all your monthly expenses, and then say, this is what I absolutely need to make every month. And then as you become profitable and as you start making money, you need to have a reserve account and take that break-even number and save up to 8 to 12 months worth of salary and expenses and stuff in your account. So at least when things like this happen, you got almost a year to figure out what's your next move.
I was about to say, I think you're absolutely right. I think a lot of companies all over, not just in real estate, were kind of caught with their pants down. And so I love that you touched on that because I think that's huge. And then we have Shamail. Antoine, how are you getting interior pics of properties that are not local? I know you talked about the company you were using. Is there a...
Yeah, so we typically work with realtors. So we'll reach out to a realtor that specifically works with investors. And how we identify that is we befriend people on Facebook. We go to events. We sit back and watch who is who and who's actually doing the business, and then reach out to them and say, hey, there's an opportunity for us to work together, make some money. I need you to go over here, take pictures. The one thing I like about working with realtors is they are chained down to being licensed. So a lot of the unethical things other wholesalers do, it's a no-no for a realtor. They can lose their licensing. So them trying to do something that can hurt you, you can report that against them and they can get in trouble. So that's the reason why I like partnering with realtors and paying them. I pay them $100 to go take pictures. And the reason is they're not going to take pictures unless we know for sure that we'll move forward with the deal. You know, if we don't even think, I don't know, we're not taking pictures. We'll tell the sellers like, hey, listen, we'd love to try to buy your property, but do you have a cousin, a brother, a sister, or niece, or somebody that has an iPhone or Android phone? I would love to cash out them $50 real quick for them to take a picture.
You already answered my question. I was like, how do you pay them? That's so great. Like, and I think that's a good point. Like, they have their license. It's not going to be, they're pretty reliable then, and they're not going to be shady. Is that what you're leaning on more towards now, since you said, because you did have a company that was doing it, right? Or
yeah, they still do it, but from the last I checked, a lot of areas that we're covering, for some reason they're not letting the reps go out there and take pictures. But I'm pretty sure that they're coming up with a process now to bounce back. Ain't no way, because not only people like us wholesalers, it's actually for banks and stuff. So it's a BPO company. But it's open to anybody, anyone who needs pictures taken. They do it for houses. If you want to go buy a car off eBay, they'll go out and take pictures to verify, make sure the VIN number is correct. They do it for auto claims and like all types of stuff. So it's not just us as real estate investors; it's affecting everyone. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna come up with something to get everybody back to work.
There's a lot of innovation going on right now. We need to just like figure out things as we go along. Al, what's up? Right. What's up, Elise and Antoine? I know that Al joins in Instagram. Shamail says, nice. We went from private school to homeschool as well. Stewart Family Realty says, we had the pleasure of meeting you during We Live Atlanta. You are truly amazing. Yes, you are.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure meeting everybody. Max did an awesome event down in Atlanta. He set the standard for what is an event supposed to be in real estate. And that's my true friend. And he's a good brother at heart.
Oh, I had so much fun. And that was like my first time in Atlanta in a long. It snowed. I mean, everyone was taken back because it snowed. So
Mine too. That was my first time in Atlanta, and I told my wife, I said, we're gonna have to do a part two and go down there and really experience the city. Because Atlanta investors, they send me so many vacant apartment buildings down there, and I'm just trying to figure out why is there vacant like that. And they really good areas, and I just want to go down there and see for my own self how can I make some money from that situation.
Heck yeah, always opportunities. Al says, how do you pick a market?
Oh man, that's a real complicated question, but I'm gonna try to answer as quick as possible. We typically pick markets that are has some type of government anchoring, such as a government agency or government presence. We like to focus on some type of financial industry or some type of industry where it's transportation. So we look at markets that had like a big train system running through there, manufacturing. We like to be close by military bases. We like to be by the ports where you got all these cars coming in, being loaded up on trains and shipped out to the Midwest. So typically, if you can find something like that, we like to see job growth. We like to see unemployment rate a little low, and then we like to see income. Right, the income, household income, always on a consistent rise, and we go back at least 20 years for that type of stuff. And then what we do is to determine if it's a fix and flip market or if it's a buy and hold market. We look at cash transactions versus traditional transactions. And once we come up with that information, then we'll zero in into the actual subdivisions in the city, and then we'll start pulling our list based off that.
Oh my gosh, that is just like, that's a great process. It's a lot, but I feel like, I mean, is that, then you go and you test it out, and then you said you claim 5, but you have 8. So is the claiming 5 because you've done deals in them, or why not the other 2?
Yeah, because I've done deals. I have a infrastructure set up where there's other boots on the ground that can work with us. I know a few people there, and I'm very comfortable with actually doing them type of markets. And you know, the other 3 markets is always in rotation, different places that we're testing and trying until we find that one market that's going to be a big water wheel and we can just print money. So that's why we always keep 3 markets in rotation.
I love that. Shamels asks, how are you marketing to get motivated sellers in Toledo, and how are you finding your cash buyers there?
So I use we do a lot of list stacking, right? So let me go back, guys. What you got to do is you need to figure out who's your ideal seller. Let's kind of keep it simple. Before Pepsi spend any money on their marketing budget, they have a bunch of people sitting in this boardroom and say, who's our ideal person that we're going to be catering to for this beverage, right? That's the same thing you need to figure out in real estate. And typically, your average seller is going to be over the age of 50. They're going to have bad credit, and they're going to have income less than $35,000. And that being said, what we find is if you can take that list and then stack it with maybe an absentee owner, right? An absentee owner out of state, not in state, but out of state that's vacant and that own it for more than 10 years. We typically see that that's the most perfect list to call because there's a lot of pain points of motivation within that list.
Oh man, that's awesome. How are you marketing to them?
Straight SMS and cold calling. Straight, okay. Most of our marketing, 99.9% of our marketing is strictly outbound marketing.
Gotcha. Let's see. Efron says leads with little to no equity still good to market to, and if so, what strategy should I take?
If you're marketing to leads with little to no equity, that's more so of a creative finance niche where you're doing some type of contract for deed, lease option, master lease option, seller finance. If you're into that type of stuff, go for it. But if you're not, definitely seek some high-level trainer who has a resume and a portfolio to back up the teaching he's giving you. Because once you start going over into creative financing, it's so much great areas that you can probably be in more trouble than you made money. So I tell people, proceed with caution and educate yourself and find somebody great that can help you.
That's awesome. Mr. McEnroe says, do you have a DealMachine code? Do you have a promo code?
I got a promo code. I think it's REI Giver or the REI Giver. I gotta start pushing DealMachine. I think I got it's REI Giver or the REI Giver, but I got one.
I'll look it up and I'll put it in the comments after this, so that way you can have people. I'm sure that it's like 40 deal credits, or something like that. I'll figure.
Yeah, I think so.
But the next question I feel like is a really good one for you. What was the biggest obstacle you faced with training VAs? And I think that can go right into your newest, like your VA thing. So go.
Yeah. So the biggest obstacle I face in training VAs is recruitment. I think recruitment is recruitment and consistent training, because people can sit behind a screen and be fake and pretend they somebody, and by the time you hire them and put them to work, you realize that the things that they told you they did, they don't know nothing about, and they were just reading off some type of teleprompter. So like I say consistent training. The first 8 months of me working with VAs, I realized that I had to run the VAs like I ran a Fortune 500 company. Everything high level. The way we hire our people, the way we promote with them, the way we train, the way we have our weekly meetings. We run the business just like you would run a big company that you see on the stock market. And for me, I benefited so much over the last 2 years because we were able to create an entire new business out of I went on Steve Train's show. I don't know if you know who Steve Train is. And I was just talking. I was telling him like, yeah, I run my business with VAs, and everyone's saying so amazing. I'm saying to myself, like, I thought everybody ran their business at this high level with VAs. And come to find out, most people don't even have a clue how to work with VAs. And so I learned for a fact that you had to set up standards, you had to set up processes, you had to set up KPIs, and then you had to be able to coach and be an accountability partner towards your VAs. People got this negative notion that the VA is supposed to come 100% trained, and that's not true. Think about this. In the corporate world, it takes 6 months to get an employee into their position comfortably where they understand their role and their processes. So why would you grow impatient with a VA after 1 week on the job and end up firing them? And next thing you know, you get another VA, then you fire them. How can they ever grow into their position if you're not willing to invest in them?
Right.
So,
and you have
that was one of my options.
Some awesome VAs that and awesome, and that led into another business venture.
Right. Yeah, I got the team I got now, man. I don't want to sound cocky, but it's crazy how we recruited so much good talent. Where we hired like call center managers, and they was happy to come work for us. They heard good stuff about our company and how we take care of our people, and how we do. We're going to say how when a few of my team members' mom passed away, we gave her a month paid off and taking care of people. Like I just believe in taking care of people to the best of your ability. And when you be nice and take care of people and be loyal, at times that pays the best interest, in my opinion.
I love that. That's so great. And I do agree with that. I think that it's a lot of challenges. A lot of VAs haven't worked in real estate, and they don't know certain technologies that you're going to be using. And
Right.
yeah, I just love that. Starlin asked, what was the best list to call? The stacking of it was, can you repeat that again? What the stacking was?
Yeah, so absentee owner, out of state, plus vacant, plus ownership at least 10 years. That's one of the best lists, I think, to go.
It was 2 weeks ago. We went on and we showed you how to do virtual driving for dollars. Have your VAs taken over any of that or tried any of that?
Not yet. They're going to be starting this week. You know me, I like to put in processes and systems, and my trainer is currently working on step-by-step process how to do it. So that way when the VAs come in, they know exactly what to do.
Well, if they need any help, you'll let me know. I will drive with
Matter of fact, they will need help. Let's set up a training session for them. So that way they can really be effective in doing it.
Yeah. No, I'd love that. Al says exactly, people first. How has your business change adjusted during this time? And we kind of answered that earlier, but if you want to just kind of.
Yeah, I say it's the same business, but you reinsure your people that you got their best interest. You reinsure by being a leader, right? And this is a perfect time to work on your leadership traits, guys. If you don't know who John Maxwell is, I suggest that you put your head in the books and read leadership books, because so many people come straight from a W-2 job and they think that they can run their business with the W-2 employee mindset. And in all actuality, your team needs you. They seek that leadership. They seek that high-level role that you must fulfill. And if you can't fulfill it, then that's okay, but at least work on it.
Yeah. No, I love that. Hey, Facebook user, I can't see your name, but hi. Yeah. What would be, a lot of people are wondering, should they hold back? Should they double down? Like, what is you just say go full steam ahead?
Listen, guys, you people don't understand. We are in the problem solving industry. If 10 million people just filed for unemployment claims, that means your revenue should double overnight, right? Why are you running away from a problem when you should be running towards the problem to help as many people as possible? It's common sense. Turn off the news, stop, being brainwashed, and do your job by helping as many people as possible.
I love that. And I'm going to take that clip and put it on our Instagram because that
No
was
problem.
that's gold right there. That really is. We are in the problem solving industry. And so you just got to keep going. And this man is on the go all the time. That's why I was shocked when you said you were in front of your house. I was like, he's not in another state somewhere.
Nah, luckily today I kind of stayed in a little later than I should have, but I'm gonna go. I'm about to literally after this interview, I'm pulling off and going down the road.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, I really appreciate you taking time with us. And like I said, I'll send you this. But again, thank you so much for doing this with us. And I'm gonna
Anything you guys need, don't ever hesitate to reach out to me.
Oh my gosh, I love you. And yes, and we'll talk about getting your VAs some training.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
And
you.
I'm gonna stick on here to do some virtual driving for dollars.
That's cool. I'll stick on here.
Okay. Oh, Al says, what new skills are you both looking to develop during this time?
To be honest with you, some personal skills, right? To be more this is a good time that I can be more of a family guy. I can be more intimate with my wife. And I can kind of like study up on the next big thing for me, what I'm working on in the background. I don't want to announce it, but like there's a lot of things that like everything you see is literally like stuff that I worked on in the past. I just don't make up stuff and then bring it out the next day. Literally, we work, and then we introduce it to the marketplace with the hopes that it be successful. So just keep putting my head down and keep working.
I love that. I know you said put your head in a book. Are you reading anything currently?
Yeah, I'm reading this Tony Robbins book. Listen, guys, if you're not following Tony Robbins, that guy, he's like the business preacher, right? I feel like every time I listen to some of his material, I get baptized in a business way. I listen to a lot of Steve Wynn. He's really big on culture and leadership. And I come from the hotel industry, so they told us that. But lately, I've been listening to all his keynote speaking, and man, he's dropped some gems on me the other day where there's a lot of things I'm about to add to my company. And I'm telling you, the stuff that I'm doing in my company, my team literally work extra hours and don't bill me for it because they love their job. When your team wake up on a Saturday to log in just to make sure that a client we just onboarded has all the things they need and they don't even care about being paid, that's when you know you're doing something right.
Absolutely. That's so great. You treat them as human beings and then they come back and they want to work for you. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, because VA's not robots. So many people think the VAs just work hard. They have family, they have children, they want to be happy, they want to live life just as much as we do. So please treat them with respect and be considerate of their situation.
I love that. And you were talking about Tony Robinson Sr. And when we were at We Live, I'd never seen him speak before, but someone's like, you need to go in there because he's going to take you to church. And so the funniest thing when you said it feels like you're being baptized, because I went in there and I was like, wow, I feel so like uplifted. It was amazing. So definitely.
Yeah, Tony, Mr. Tony, I talk to him just about 2-3 times a week. He's a good, solid guy. He's a real inspiration to me, and he's nothing like what people think he may be. Right? Even speaking, listen to him outside of speaking, he's very passionate. He's a genuine person, and he's a man of God. So I really respect that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, all right. I'm going to start virtually driving for dollars. If you need to log off, feel free. You don't need.
Okay. I stay on here for a hot second.
All right, cool. I'm going to start driving for dollars. Let's get this up here. I saw Max did one with, he said he like drive for dollars in his underwear or something, or I don't know. The guy's So I was watching him do that too. All right, guys. So I'm on Google Maps and I'm just going to zoom into an area that I want to drive. So you take the little yellow dude down here, you pick him up, drop him down on one of these streets that you want to go down. Now, you literally are just going down the street, looking at houses. Now, to check to make sure when the picture was taken, on the bottom right, it's going to say image captured. So this was August 2019, still under a year, which means that these are probably going to be pretty accurate. So we're just going to keep driving down those areas. And if you have Street Pick, it'll grab the picture from this to go on your postcards. Oh, shoot. Did I just see a... Yeah, this looks a little rough right here. There's no roof. Let's just see. And this is the hard thing with Google, is that you have to really try to get this. But I added, my new record is 33 properties in a half an hour the other day. So
that's not bad.
I was like, I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give me a VA. This is what I want to do, right? I want to get a VA. I'm gonna start. You pick a city. We drive for dollars. We cold call. We market, and you're gonna witness us try to lock up a deal. So, let's try to figure that out when we talk on the phone, so people can see this stuff actually works.
Heck yeah! I know. I can't wait to have people, because there are a ton of people like Brent Daniels and stuff that are paying VAs, and they locked up a deal. One of them was, I think, a 6-figure one, and I was like, holy moly. All right, this is owner occupied. It was sold this year. Oh well. Yeah, I'll do that one. But you don't know unless you try, and I can always go and take it out of there. And we have a new feature coming to DealMachine. I'm going to unveil it on Thursday. Antoine, I'll tell you later. He'll get first.
Okay.
But it's super exciting, and it's going to make a lot of people's lives a lot easier. And now David's put in here that you can actually skip trace through the Chrome extension. So you can actually pull the numbers, which is really nice. Ooh, do you go for ramps? I go for ramps.
Yeah, because it's kind of someone older or someone disabled standing. So we go for ramps. We look for like a lot of cars in the driveway, especially cars without tags. When we actually out in the field, I know in Google they blank out the tags. You can't really see the tags.
I have not heard of that one though. That's actually a really good idea. And is that because you used to work with doing didn't you say you traveled to do tags?
Yeah, so like in certain states, right? When you owe tickets on your tags, the sheriff come out and take the tags off your car. So that's a sign of distress that you can't even pay your tickets on your car. You might want to try to liquidate your house too.
Oh my gosh, I never ever heard of that. That's actually really good. This one, owner occupied. Do you guys ever, like, do you still go after owner occupied though? Like when you go off of your driving for dollars list?
Yeah, we market to, if it looks distressed, or well, here in DC, like here's another tip. Just because you might be in a good city where there's developers wanting to buy houses, they don't care if it's distressed or not, because they're gonna tear down and try to build something even better because the zoning is misused. So if you're in somewhere like DC or Phoenix or California somewhere, you might just go down the street that haven't been fully developed yet and just put all the houses in the database. And because the developer's gonna pay retail price for it because the value is in the land, So don't sleep on adding houses that don't look beat up into your database.
I love that. Like, I think that's because David's deals, like the main part of his deals have always been owner occupied. And I feel like it's always somebody who's like distressed, or like you were talking about with like the tax, doing all that stuff. Oh man, I had another question for you and it just like completely slipped my mind. Shoot. I will remember it. Let's see here. Man, I picked a good street.
It looked like a good street. What is that? What area is this? Huh?
This is Indy.
Okay.
I usually go off of my hometown. Oh, yeah. Beat up fence. I definitely would. I just always pick something because you never know. Like I've added even like pretty nice houses and they've I mean, if just with like a little bit of something and just you never know what the
Yeah.
situation is.
One
Do you,
thing I learned over the years is you don't know, you can't think for the sellers or you can't think for anyone. You don't know what's going through someone's head. So the worst thing that people could tell you is no, I'm not want to sell right now. But at a time like this, 10 million people, man, it's going to be a lot of people that's going to have to sell that don't even realize that they motivated just yet.
oh, that was what I was going to ask you though. Have you so your buyers I've heard a lot of people say like talk to your buyers, see what they're wanting to buy right now. Have you been doing like have you talked to any of your buyers to see have they changed what they're wanting to buy with every
Yeah, I talked to some of my buyers. I don't talk to all of them because for me, I like to get a deal and then bring it to the buyers to see where they at and just have an honest conversation. Does this fit what you're trying to do currently? Because even though we talked a week ago, things right now things are changing about a day, sometimes about an hour, right?
right.
Where this person may be, yeah, I'm ready back. And the next thing you know, 2 days later, their main source of funding back out on them. So I like to get deals and then present it to everybody and have that conversation with them to see where they at right there and there at the moment.
Do you have your like how many do you have like your go-to buyers to go off of that
Typically,
you go to first?
typically we keep between 3 to 5 good buyers that we personally know. But to be honest, our bread and butter is actually going into the database and then pulling real-time buyers at that type of house. So we're going to a database and say, okay, we're looking for people that's buying 3 2s at $80,000, and we'll pull that information, we'll skip trace them, and we'll call them. And here's another secret tip too. We treat our deals like the TV show The First 48. You ever seen that show, the
I
crime show?
no, I've never seen.
So so the first 48 is a TV show that the detectives got 48 hours to solve the homicide. Or and then if it don't get solved in the first 48 hours, it's a 50% chance that it doesn't get solved. So we took that same concept to say, hey, and we looked at our information and said it's the same thing as the first 48. Most deals, if you can't sell it in the first 2 days or the first 48 hours, it's a 50% chance that that deal will never make it through escrow. And it's because there's so many variables. But the one thing I can say is you don't have a full grasp on who is buying that type of asset, right? So many people are in the wrong zip codes. They're in the wrong neighborhoods. They're buying the wrong type of house. And investors like, hey, it looks like a good deal on paper, but no one's buying a 5-3 on this side of town. We want 2 1s or 3 1s. So you got to understand and educate yourself. And that's why I said earlier, become an expert in that particular subdivision, not city, but subdivision within the city, because one subdivision could be completely different than the next based on price point.
No, I love that. You're doubling down on those people that you know are going to be interested. And actually, who said somebody asked a question? Uh, Hello from Boston. Hello. What's the best way to reach out to Antoine? What leadership books does he recommend? You kind of mentioned a couple of books you and
Yeah,
people.
I like John Maxwell, The 21 Laws of Infutable Leadership. That's a pretty dope book. Like that should be like your holy Bible out of all books. You should read that book. The best way to reach me is on Facebook, Antoine M. Campbell Sr. And the other best way to reach me is Instagram, CEO929.
And guys, I'll post those in the descriptions because this will be saved on YouTube and our Facebook. So I'll be sure to put where you can get a hold of him. Do you do JVs at all?
Definitely. That's one of the things we are currently in the background going to roll out in a more structured manner. Right now, we're just doing case by case, but we literally going to have a whole section where you submit a deal. We'll tell you if we can help you sell it, and we'll tell you what we need to be. Most times, it's usually overpriced, and we're negotiating to go get the reduction. So we're going to make that more formal in the next 30 days. So I'm open to JVN anywhere in the United States, especially on the Eastern Seaboard, up and down the East Coast. I'm really good at selling deals.
I just love how you like. How did you're like, I run my company like a Fortune 500. We have all these processes. Are you just a processes person, or like what made you do that for your business? Like, was it a coach? Was it a book?
Yeah, I think I'm a naturally process person. And then like working for a big Fortune 500 company and the way they instilled, all these teachings, I said I might as well just take it and apply it to a local small business. And literally gave us our chance to blow up overnight because we was using some of this high level teaching that no one's doing in the industry.
I love that. I just love how you're like, I need the processes because I mean, you want to be able to duplicate it. So,
Right.
and make sure that everyone's, like you said, if you don't, you need to have all the information, especially for the people that are on your team. How big is your team again, or in your company?
Right now we running around because I recently gave some of my leadership people the ability to hire people without my permission. Like, okay, if you need someone, go hire 'em. I don't care. Add them to the payroll. They'll get taken care. So that's how I'm not gonna say I'm hands off, but that's how much I trust my team right now. So the last three hires they made, I finally met them last week. They was working for me for 3 weeks. I haven't even spoken to them. And I was beyond impressed. Matter of fact, this one lady has experience in a new business I'm trying to open up. So I think I'm gonna snatch her to put her in charge of what I'm trying to do next. So yeah, we're around 13 people. Within the next 24 months, I hope to get to 30 people.
Oh my
On
gosh.
our team.
And to just like, it just blows my mind because you started literally, you said 3 years ago. And like, did you expect it to be this big? Like, in
Not at first, but I'm a type of person. I say it's a little slang term. I like to say run that check up. Long as you're on your winning streak, because you got a winning season and losing season. As an entrepreneur, I had my fair share of losing seasons. So while I'm winning, you might as well just run it up as much as you can and be responsible. Don't be reckless with it, but be definitely responsible. So we end up hiring two people in the midst of the coronavirus, and while people find their VAs. Listen, guys, if you're thinking about hiring a VA right now, this is the perfect time because so many VAs are being let go by people that don't know no better, and they're good VAs. So the pool of good VAs is just expanded, and we're snatching up everybody we can that we know that's good.
I love that. All right, guys, I think I'm going to be done driving for now, but we'll be doing more driving later this week. Tomorrow we'll be talking about marketing, but again, thank you so much, Antoine, for coming on, and we'll be talking shortly.
Awesome. Just call my phone. You know my number. Appreciate you. Thank you and David for allowing me to come on your platform.
Oh my gosh, we'll do it again very soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Just let me know when I'm there.
All right, have a good one. Bye, guys.
You too. Bye bye.